So you admit it. Is this not a sin? Not only should gambling be the sin, but the fact that you're stealing and cheating. It's time for some more Livid Lady's Guide to Getting Even. Make sure you leave a like on this video, share, support, subscribe, and ring that bell if you haven't already. But Patreon is where you can catch the full live reactions, all this and more. And if you hype the video on the YouTube mobile app, it does help push it to even more people. And if the videos keep performing well, we can keep this one coming, a weekly experience. Let's check it out and see what the Sinful sister has in store for us this week. Who doesn't love a good slave dealer in an anime? Jesus Christ. That's the reaction I'm looking for right there. Either they're going to get along very well, or they're going to be complete enemies. Because they feel very in sync with their minds, but sometimes being too similar causes conflict. Listen, if you hear noises coming from the room when we're alone, just don't come in. We're getting our aggression out. We didn't even pay for it yet. He already just did the transfer without us even paying. We could just run. We could dine and dash right now. She been gambling again? No, she gonna break their faces, bro. She does seem like the type of person who would cheat. Bro got double teamed. That's insane. She's gonna love slavery. Like, she's gonna be like, oh man, you bought a slave? I love that. This is the most sinful character, bro. Is there nothing in your cold heart that you can't be like, man, that traitor's bitch kind of makes sense? Or are you just gonna call her that? Come on. At least we got someone competent, huh? It's about time we can put someone better in the place. Something tells me we're gonna recruit her over to our side before the end of this arc. Dead ass, if it wasn't for Tanya, I might label her the most sinful character this anime season. To be honest, maybe I still will. I have such joy when they don't even hide the fact that the sins of their world are similar to the sins we're familiar with in our own. See, normally I'd be like, damn, we have a sister of a church who's gambling, thieving, murdering. That's gotta be a sin. And then you'd have some mofo come into the comments, well, actually, it's a different world, so the sins will probably be different. No, they literally call a spade a spade. Elizabeth is like, bruh, every time we meet you, you extend what is acceptable, even though this shit's all sinful. As soon as I saw a group of, it looks like thugs. I ain't gonna deny, they did kind of look like thugs. But they're saying, hey bitch, you stole from us. Did I think they were lying? No. I knew this girl for one episode prior to this scene. And everything I saw from that prior episode said to me that if someone's saying she's in the wrong, she's probably in the wrong. Now, does that make her a bad character? Objectively, as a person, probably. But as an entertainment value, nah, she's the best. And you know it's bad that I've known a character for like, I don't even know how many minutes, like fucking 5 minutes, 8 minutes total. And the fact that the walls in the street aren't painted red, and I'm like, oh, good for her, she restrained herself. I hope this is the gimmick. I hope we just randomly, we hang out with her for like a day or two, and then she goes on her merry way. We do our thing, we bump into her, and this type of bullshit happens. What a glorious train wreck. It's gonna get to the point that we're gonna like find the church she comes from, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we had to let her go. It's kind of like realizing someone had like a really like great job, but like their life just went on a downward track. That's gonna be her. We're gonna find the father of her church, and they'll be like, gotta be honest, as sinful as our church might be, she got even too much for us, and then they're gonna send her on her merry way. Fucking hilarious, though, I have to admit. Now we go on a little slave hunt. We learn about the slavery in this world, and it's kind of interesting, because if anyone's ever seen the show, How a Realist Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom, there's an element to slavery in this episode that kind of reminds me of that one. So there's your pretty traditional slave traders who are horrible, like the worst of the worst. Yeah, like there's different types, right? People who probably had nowhere to go, had to turn themselves over to slavery. Then there's criminals who pretty much have the rehabilitation program, which is just forced servitude. But I mean, you ain't feeling good if you're going slave hunting, right? Like this is very, very scummy. But what's interesting is that not all slave auctions are built the same in this world. This man fascinates me. So, if you've ever seen the show, like I said, How a Realist Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom, there's a arc in that show where Bro inherits, like, his family's, like, slave house. It's fucked up as a sentence as it is to say. And he treats it differently. He goes the route of being like, I'm not a fan of this shit. So I'm going to, the people who basically I inherited, I'm going to teach them. I'm going to give them skill sets to be a functioning adult. And in doing so, the king who, gets isekai'd into that show pretty much is like, hey, I'm not a fan of slavery either, but your transition of slavery is a natural way to get us out of the current very shitty slavery and slowly progress us out of a master-servant relationship. And that's kind of the vibe I got with this guy and why I really like this. Every slave, the same way as every person, has a skill set. Not everyone's capable of being a chef. Not everyone's capable of being a warrior. Not everyone's capable of being a scholar. But whatever your skill set is, he teaches them in said skill set. Everyone is basically trained for what they're good at. And while the man is making a pretty penny off of them, at the end of the day, he definitely gives me the vibe. He isn't like, if you came in here looking like a psychopath saying, I need a killing machine, I have a feeling this guy would probably turn him down. And in doing so, it's kind of interesting, right? Because the way the world spins is money makes the world goes round. This guy has the most expensive slaves on the market because his slaves are the most valuable. I showed you what slaves look like for that other guy. They're fucking skin and bones. What fucking good is that in terms of a worker, other than, buying them to set them free and hopefully have a second chance of life? You go to this guy, you're going to pay an arm and a leg, but you're going to get a valuable, whatever the skill set is. In Elizabeth's case, we needed a new servant, right? Because, the workload would get too much for her current maid. In doing so, other slave traders will eventually take influence from this guy, start training their own slaves better, and slowly but surely will get out of the toxic servitude and slowly transition the world into a better direction. Still not perfect, but I mean, it's definitely a night and day difference from the other, and that's what makes it very interesting. And this is the only other show that I can think of, other than How a Realist Hero Rebuilt a Kingdom, that touched upon this type of dynamic, and it's really, really interesting. And while I definitely think her father is a big piece of shit, I actually appreciate the fact that we have a character who is literally just loyalty to the country above all else. Like, he's gonna suffer, for sure, but I actually appreciate how we have a character who's like, oh, my daughter? She's a criminal. I don't give a fuck. Like, bro is completely loyal to the crown. And in terms of the role he serves, is that probably the right way to go about it? Yeah. In terms of being a parental figure, oh, you're a piece of shit. But it makes him a far more fascinating character when you're dealing with someone like this who isn't like, I need to win. No, he's just like, I serve the kingdom. If she fucked around, she's going to find out. Now, he's going to find out, but when you put yourself in his point of view when he's looking at it as like an objective job, it's a pretty interesting character arc. On one hand, it's a good thing that the kingdom has someone competent in Elizabeth's old role. But the way she's like, bruh, if she really wants to get revenge, we're fucked. Like, I'm interested if, like, every time they put someone competent in that role, we're just gonna steal them. It's either that, they come to our side, or the sister beats them over the head with her fucking holy cross. One of the two. I don't know. Very enjoyable episode. There was a lot that happened. It was funny, it was exciting, and slowly but surely we're getting revenge by fucking becoming the most powerful person so we can crush everyone else, whether that's a business, whether that's a country, and I'm here for it. If you let me know your thoughts and feelings on this week's episode, what do you think of the most sinful sister? Thoughts down below. Leave a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and yes, Patreon for live reactions over there. And hey, if you're already over on my Patreon, I'll also give you a video shout out too, because my patrons are what fund this YouTube channel to begin with. So today we got Pranesh Sumswar, Darian Smith, Raj Vermullins, Diedrich Savan, and we also have Chupactus. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you have a good one.